Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am Coach Sherry, and I am so excited today. First of all, I'm excited and honored to be part of this empowerment conference. And this is an empowerment conference that's put together by Marlene Motivates. And every quarter of the year, she puts on an empowerment conference and has different topics that she asks the presenters, and she selects presenters to talk about. We have to come up with what our point of view is for that particular topic. So this empowerment conference is spring 2024. It's Blossom into Your Best Self. And what better way and what better time of the year to blossom than right now? Things have been planted, seeds have been sowed, and now it's time to blossom. And there have been some dynamic content creators that have been part of this empowerment conference. And if you've missed the ones that came on before me, I will definitely have a playlist so that you can see them. But first at 1 p.m., we had Team Build with Geo, and her topic was change your mindset and blossom into your best self. And then at 1:45, we had Pandy's Hair Candy and More, and her topic was spring into action, blossom into your best self this season, and unleash your potential. Then at 2:30, just before me, was Be Amazing Sylvia, and her topic was blossom into who you were born to be. We were all born to be someone great. And here I am, Coach Sherry. I'm on until 4 p.m. and my topic is the process of becoming. And then after me, I'm handing the mic over to Coach Mary Ma, and she's going to be talking about Dare to Dream, embrace your limitless possibilities. And then at 4:45, we're going to wrap it all up with a beautiful bow, a beautiful floral blossoming bow with Marlene Motivates. And she, again, I call her the general manager. General managers are very important for any team because they bring the right people to the table, and she always does, and comes up with these great ideas to make it all happen and to be successful. So again, Marlene, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this wonderful event. I hope you all have your pen and papers ready so you can capture notes. I've been writing down notes in my notebook all day, all afternoon so far. And really take these notes down. Don't just take them down just to say I wrote it. No, after the conference, review those notes and see how you can implement some of the things that we are sharing. How have you been inspired and motivated, and also transform? Utilizing all the things that we're sharing is a way for you to transform and blossom. We all have many layers to our buds, and now it's time to open up and be who you were meant to be. So let's see how you can become in the process of becoming. Thank you all. And just before I begin, I want to see in the chat now. I have things a little close because I don't have my glasses on or my contacts, but you know what? I'm going to do my best. And I see Pandy's Hair Candy and More is in the building. Coach Mary Ma, Boss Life Online. Let's see who else. Oop. See, I can't even get my stuff up. Let's see. I hope I'm not frozen. Okay, there we go. Marlene Motivates. I appreciate you all for being here. And I did see, and let me see, because earlier I saw her come in, and Slasher Chick, there you are. I'm glad to see you here. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all the support. Now, my channel, I am a content creator, and I am going to be Sweet 16 in June here on YouTube. So I've been with YouTube in some form or fashion for almost 16 years. Can you believe it? And so in honor of my Sweet 16, this month for sure, I'm going live every day. Today makes day 13. Now, Slasher Chick is going for 90 days, and she's encouraging me to continue because she doesn't realize she's motivating me to do so. So what I've decided is absolutely I'm going to go live every day for 60 days, at least this month and next month, leading into my Sweet 16. So I am pleased to be here. My channel is about workforce development, entrepreneurship, career readiness, real life, real issues, and real talk. What I bring to you is good news, and I always try to have things that are actionable, leaving you with nuggets that you can hopefully implement into your life. So let's begin the process of becoming. So, really, in life, what matters is what we do with that dash. We all have a begin date and an end date. And that dash, that's the part where our choices come in, the things that we do, how we are living our life, how we are showing up. So, who are we becoming as a result of those choices is really something that we can absolutely make changes in as we bloom and blossom into our best selves. So there is a process of becoming, and that is what I'm going to discuss today. So every day we are becoming, it's the spring of the year, and people get married every day, every week, go to the courthouse or have big weddings. So every day someone's becoming a spouse or someone is trying to be a better spouse. Babies are born every minute of the day. So every day, new parents are welcoming in their first child and are becoming parents, or they're trying to become better parents. Every day, someone is starting a business and they are trying to become an entrepreneur. Or if they are already an entrepreneur, they're trying to be a better business owner. Every day, someone's getting promoted and are becoming a new manager, or they are trying to become a better leader in their organization. Whichever it is, whatever resonates with you, we are all always becoming. And if you are intentional with it, you can absolutely seize those moments and become the best version of who you were designed to be. All right. So, the process of becoming, and I have my notes because I want to be intentional with the time and respectful because Coach Mary Ma is up after me, and I know you're going to grab some nuggets from her too. But the process of becoming is a journey of self discovery and development of new habits and growth. So, you're going to rediscover yourself with these steps. There are a series of stages that you need to go through in order to become. So today, today I'm going to share those stages, and I hope you have your pen and paper ready so you can take these notes and capture them. And upon completion of this empowerment conference, like I said before, I really want you to see where and how you can implement some of these changes, some of the things that you've heard today, so that you can transform and become. All right. So I'm going to switch my screen so that you can see what the number one is. I found doing this has been very helpful for me as well as for the people that are receiving the information. So let me go to this part. All right. We are at number one, self-awareness. So self-awareness, you know, people will always say, well, I know who I am, but do you? Self awareness is, who are you? Are you really showing up in your most authentic self? You have to understand who you are. And to do that, it's important to do a SWOT analysis, a personal SWOT analysis. We are all very familiar, if you are in business, of SWOT analysis for your business. You want to understand what your business's strengths are, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, and typically you are comparing it with other businesses similar to yours or other services that are similar to yours. But with your personal SWOT analysis, you're going to reflect on, what are your strengths? Understand your weaknesses. What opportunities do you have coming your way? And what are your threats? What are some of your shortcomings? And I'm not going to go too deep with that right now. I am going to do something a little later, this month around that, but I just wanted to put that out there for you to capture on your paper for this topic, that it is important to do a personal SWOT analysis. You also must understand your values and what motivates you. And your values are a variety of things. It could be effective communication, having integrity, being trustworthy. What are some of your values and what motivates you? Does your family motivate you? Does, do you wanting to have certain, meet your goals, does that motivate you? When you reach them, some people really get a high off of that, like, oh, I did it, motivating you to get to that finish line. What are the things that motivate you? And this understanding this is done with deep reflection. And that can include, and I recommend that you include personality assessments. And here are some suggested personality assessments. One is DISC. And DISC is a personality assessment that will help you understand how you're showing up, how you operate, how you move, what do you prefer. Myers-Briggs, which is a really old one, but very highly recommended. Big Five personality traits. Strengths Finder. And Strengths Finder is also a book, and it has stickers that you could put on the front of the book once you find out what your strengths are. And these are all great books that books and assessments, not all of them are books, but books and assessments that will help you understand who you are personally, how you show up, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what opportunities do you typically pass over without realizing, and what are your threats. I also recommend doing a 360 assessment, and that's where you request feedback from people you respect that truly know you. And this is not an informal situation. You would provide them with a document with a variety of questions. And I also think it's best to work with a coach, or if you are in some type of training, like a leadership training, sometimes they request that you perform a 360 and you give them people that you've identified to do that for you. But this is a process that will also help with feedback on how you are perceived. And you will be so incredibly, I think, surprised by how people perceive you. And it may encourage you to continue to do what you're doing, or it'll encourage you to do things better. The next, number 2, is vision setting. So for this, I like to mind map. But first, you must brainstorm. And so when you brainstorm, you want to consider all the things that you reflected on during step 1. So when you were going through the self-awareness process, you really want to reflect on that. Where were your shortcomings? What do you want to grow? Where in your life do you want to see prosper? Do you need to work on more? And so that's going to be very important so that you can see those changes. Now, when you mind map, many times when people do a vision, they are very limited in their categories because they're not really being fully intentional, and they are just focused on certain areas. But when you do a deep dive mind map, because you are in the process of becoming and you need to go deep with this, you should include visions for your personal life, your career, your health, relationships, financial, and business. You should look at all of those categories and how you want to grow, how they need to assist you in growing, so that you can become. Maybe for your personal life, you may want to start reading more books. Maybe for your career, you want to do some professional development. Maybe for your health, you want to take full advantage of your health insurance and go get your teeth cleaned 3 times a year, or make sure that you're eating the right foods. You want to also look at your relationships. Maybe you need to be a more active listener. Maybe you need to connect with people in your circle that you have lost contact with but really enjoyed. Maybe with financial, you want to look at how you can budget better and save and increase your giving, your charity giving. And then business. If you are looking to start a business, maybe developing your business plan, or if you already have a business, revising your business plan. But those are just a couple of examples for each of those categories that you really need to consider when you are setting your visions. So you want to set clear, achievable goals with strategies. So it's more than just saying, I want to do this, and that's your goal. You need to set strategies, 7 to 9 strategies on how you're going to achieve that goal. You want to be very intentional, and you want to definitely have purpose as you're doing this, because these are going to be crucial for providing you with the direction. We have the end result, we have the location where we're supposed to meet up, but how are you going to get there? And those are what the strategies are going to provide you, the how. All right, so let's look at number 3. And let me bounce into the chat real quick. I see there's a lot of conversation going on, which is amazing. I love it. And I'll pull myself back up and let me check the chat. Everyone is saying hello. Thank you all for being here. Thank you everyone for greeting everyone. I see some new people. Alamatu Sadia. Hello, how are you? I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Puzzle Pieces is in the building. Hello to you. Thank you for joining. All right. I wanted to make sure. I hope you all are still capturing your notes. All right, let's go back to number 3. Okay. So for number 3 is learning and skill development. This is so important, learning and skill development. And this is, when you think about it, you want to say to yourself, where are my gaps? Where am I weak? Where do I have loose ends? Where is there space that I can improve? And you want to identify the skills and knowledge that you need to achieve your goals. You have these goals, but you want to start a business, but maybe you need to take a course in marketing. Maybe you need to take a course in Excel or in QuickBooks so that you can be a better business owner and run your business effectively. This could be going back to school to gain a degree or additional credentials like certifications, or like I was saying, take just short courses. If you are a nonprofit, maybe you want to take a grant writing class. Maybe you want to do a notary and take a notary and become certified in that. When you take courses like that, not only do they give you great information, but they also provide you with resources, especially if you take a grant writing class. What? I just took one. I knew someone that wrote a grant and received $30 million. when I went to her celebration for it, it was like, I wouldn't say it was a celebration, but it was definitely an awareness where media and everybody was there. I said, and she's, I work very closely with her. She's a colleague. And I said, if she can do it, so can I. So I immediately signed up for a grant writing class, because you have to know what you don't know. And if you're trying to go where you're trying to go, you need to get skilled up in that. So it also could be something self-study, like you can find on LinkedIn Learning. And I talked about LinkedIn a couple of nights ago, maybe a couple of nights ago, and how they have great courses that you can take on demand anywhere and learn. And so LinkedIn Learning is another one. And then also practical experiences like job shadowing or volunteering, or even babysitting if you're trying to be a new parent. Listen, my husband and I never changed diapers until we had our first children. And we had a niece and nephew that we love dearly. They were born the same year we were married. So at this time, I think they might have been about 2 or 3 years old. I may or may not have been pregnant with our first child. But I know that when we would come home from wherever we lived in the country, we would always have our niece and nephew. And this time it was the winter, it was around Christmas time. And we said we're going to take them to New York to Rockefeller Center to see the Christmas show. And our niece and nephew, I think they were like 2 years old, and they had on pull-ups. I'm thinking, and I knew they were in the process of being potty trained so they could go to the bathroom. The pull up, I came to realize, was just in case they had an accident. Well, we never took them to the bathroom. And so we had them from 8 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock at night, eating, drinking, everything. And my sister-in-laws were like, what in the world? When we came back, because their pull-ups were like hanging on by a thin string because they were so heavy with urine. Luckily, they only urinated in it. But I'm just saying, babysitting is a good way where you can learn and develop your skills. Unfortunately, we didn't develop new skills on that day, but we did learn something, that you can't have a child out all day without changing their diapers, or if they're being potty trained, taking them to the bathroom. So I just wanted to share that with you. So learning from mentors, role models, and just doing just doing it, just jumping in head first, taking initiative will help you with the process of becoming. All right. Number 4, let's look at number 4 is overcoming challenges. Ooh-wee. So obstacles, barriers, dips in the road will always be. We will always have them. You can be driving down the road and it's smooth sailing, and then all of a sudden there's some kind of debris in the road. You driving down the road, smooth sailing, and then there's an unexpected speed bump. But how you approach them and get around or through them is the key. Overcoming challenges is about addressing personal shortcomings and pushing beyond your comfort zone. A lot of people don't want to push beyond their comfort zone. Once things become uncomfortable, once it starts to hurt a little bit, then they pull back and they turn around and they say never mind. But when you push through that, that's when the breakthrough comes. And so in order to become, you must start and complete. When you come to it, you must go through it. Greater comes later. If God brings you there, He's going to help you get around it, through it, whatever the case may be. So you have to do that. It's not about starting and stopping because you're unsure, because it's a challenge. No, it's about figuring it out because you can, and that'll make you so much better. And once you go through that challenge, that will be your testimony, and it's for you to share with others of how you did it. And it's also for a reminder to you, so that when you come to your next challenge, you can reflect back on the challenge you just got through that you didn't think was possible. And you will know, if I got through that, I know I can get through this. And that's how you continue to grow and prosper and thrive in life. Ooh-wee. So you may have to have conversations also with those around you, and especially yourself, when you come through those challenges, because sometimes too, people in your circle, when they see you happen upon that bump in the road, that barrier, they may try to convince you to stop because they're telling you what they would do. And it's not for them, it's for you. So don't always adhere to what the people in your circle are telling you. If they are discouraging you from going through with something that will be life changing, game changing for you, that's because that's their fear that they're trying to put upon you. And you have to have more faith than fear, and know that that was brought to you because God knew that you could handle that assignment. And that's what we all have, our own individual assignments. And not everyone can be in your classroom as you're learning how to navigate and learn about your assignment. Not everyone gets the same bus route and can't ride your same bus to get where you're going because their bus is on the other side. So know the uncomfort. That uncomfort or being uncomfortable means growth. And growth is great. You have to grow to become. All right, let's look at number 5. Habit formation and lifestyle. Listen, there's so many trainers, I hear them all the time. And when they're talking about developing new habits, they'll say, oh, in 21 days, it'll just take you 21 days to get this new habit. Listen, it takes 6 months to develop a new habit. And if you don't believe me, right now, I want you to just think about it. Think about those overnight successes. Think about those one and dones. Think about those things that you were like, I'm on my way now. Like, I got this. And then you don't. You know, the change you made, how long did it really last when it was just that short or just that easy? How long did it last? If it did, if you say not long, then that means you didn't create a new habit. If you say, I'm Sherry, I'm still doing it, then that's who you are. That becomes part of who you are. And that's a habit. We all have all different types of habits. Some are good, some are bad. As you do your self awareness and reflect, you need to really evaluate, especially when that SWOT analysis, when you think about your threats are your bad habits. And how are you going to change them? It's more than a word. It's more than just writing it down. It's the action that you're going to take. And that's why when you are doing your vision and setting your vision and you're setting your goals, you have to have those strategies. Those strategies are your blueprint on how you're going to not only achieve your goal, but make it a new habit. All right. So make small changes at a time. I remember, I remember I have three young adult children, but I had one pregnancy before our son and I miscarried. But I remember when I got pregnant that first time, I was in my head thinking, "Oh my goodness, I need to work out so I don't gain too much weight because I I know, that baby weight is no joke." And I was like trying to work out for real and I hadn't been working out though. So I should have done baby steps. And I'm not saying that's the reason why I miscarried, but it's just like you have to make small changes and be realistic with it. Adopt healthier choices and find new ways to manage your stress. Be very intentional and mindful. If you're hungry, don't just reach for something good, reach for something good for you. In order to become, you have to eliminate habits that hinder your growth. There are so many habits that hinder our growth with our beliefs. We believe certain things, and that certain thing you believe may not even be appropriate for this time or this stage in your life. It may not be true for you or right now. So you have to really understand what you're believing and why you are believing it. And if you have to unbelieve it, if you have to understand a new way of doing it, then you have to learn how to eliminate that habit and develop the new one. And know that that new one is how you're going to move forward from that day on. Okay. Let's look at number 6, reflection and adaptation. All right. Adaptation, yeah. On a minimum, on a weekly basis, you need to reflect on your progress. You want to give yourself grace. Grace was my word for last year. Oh my goodness, giving yourself grace, giving other people grace, giving things around you grace. But as you're giving yourself grace, do not give yourself excuses. And I remember when I pledged, and everyone, had to remember this about excuses and how they are the tools of the weak and incompetent. And those who use them are seldom capable of anything else. So you give yourself grace because you're saying, you know what? No one's perfect. We're not perfect. We may have some hiccups. We may, slide back a little bit. But if you take one step back, take two steps forward. And if you have those excuses showing up, you're going to take 3 steps backwards and 1 step forward, and will continue finding yourself going around in a circle and not moving forward. So give yourself grace, but not excuses. Consider what's working and what's not, and prepare to adapt your strategies and pivot if necessary. Self reflection can be enhanced through journaling. I know Boss Life Online, she was talking about the importance of journaling, meditation, or discussions with those that you trust in your circle. Now, remember, your circle has many, many layers. All right. Just like your blossoms, your blooms, you have many layers. So there's that circle. You have your inner circle. Think about the core of the earth, how hot it is, how small it is, but it's so hot. Your circles are like that. The closer they are to you, the hotter they are, the more fire that they give you and put under you to propel you. And that could be one person or three people. It doesn't have, it can't be big. It's not a lot of room in that inner close circle. And then you have your outer circles. But when you are talking about, the process of becoming, when you are having discussions and you are talking about being accountable, you want to make sure that those conversations are with the ones you trust most, because becoming is a evolving process. It's going to continue to evolve. Even when you become, you have not arrived. You're going to have to become again. So the last is number 7. And I love things, and I try to put them in sevens because 7 is the number of completion. So 7, integration and alignment. So as you grow and become, you must ensure that your actions and choices are aligned with your values and goals. If that means putting them in a chart and you can see like a pros and cons chart, and if you can see it like that, sometimes you might need that visualization. That's important. Some people really get beside themselves and forget their true self as they are becoming. And yes, you are going to change to a better you, but your core needs to be your authentic you. So you have to remain true to yourself. As you integrate your new skills and insights into your everyday life, make them part of your identity without losing your identity. And, change is a good thing. So don't be afraid of that. You want to integrate and align yourself with yourself and your new change in this process of becoming. All right. Let me go and check the chat. Let's see. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate that. Let's see. All right. I see everyone is speaking. It's great to see everyone. Yes. Hi, Nancy Perrin Ministries. Grace, but no excuses. Ooh, excuses. They are something else. All right. I see Tuber Chat is in the building. Thank you for being here. I see everyone is speaking. I'm glad that you like these tips, Marlene. Before I close, I just want, if you can put in the chat, what is your one nugget from the information that was shared? What is that one aha, that one thing that you may have known, but this was a reminder? And what is that one thing that you are going to focus on and be most intentional so that you can be on that path of the process of becoming? If you can, um, if you can, thank you. If you can put that in the chat, if you're watching this on replay, be sure to add that to the comment and just let me know. What is that one thing? I gave you 7. And what is the one thing that you are going to put into your life and start right after this? And as we continue to grow, close, I see Coach Mary Mott, it says habits take time. They do. They do. They take way longer than 21 days, that's for sure. I remember I had a neighbor and we were walking and we were very diligent with it. We walked in the rain, we walked every day. It was like, oh, you know what? I think this is what we do. And of course, something happened, something came up, and maybe for one day she couldn't go, and then another day I couldn't go, and we kind of started not going anymore. And when I look back on our calendar, I realized when we stopped, we were at day 20. So we were almost good for a month and we thought we had developed a new habit, but it clearly wasn't. Just think about the things that you've done long term and how you still do it, because that's what you do now. That becomes part of you. So the process of becoming, it involves all of those 7 stages that we just went through. And you need to be able to see the changes you want to make. That comes from self-awareness, like that 360 evaluation. Then you have to own it. All right. So first you see it, and then you have to own it. And you have to say, I have to take account. There's no more excuses. The common denominator is me. All the things that have maybe been challenging in my life, all of the things that hadn't really been working out, the one thing that's been present in all of those situations has been me. So that's when you own it, and you're saying, I'm going to, all right, I'm going to set this vision. And that's really helpful in setting your vision and using your mind map. Remember that mind map to address all of the areas of your life. And then you're going to live it. All right. So after you see it, you see the changes, you own the changes because you're saying it's about me and making those changes to become. Then you start to live it. All right. And when you live it, you are learning and you're developing and you're overcoming those challenges. That's what you do when you're living it. And then you are being it. When you're living it, you're trying to get those habits, you're doing the strategies, but then when you're being it, you're being that change that you set out to be with greater frequency. That means it becomes part of you. You do it without even thinking. And then you form those new habits, you change your lifestyle, and you reflect and integrate the changes in your life, so your becoming allows you to embrace lifelong learning and remain open to new experiences and perspectives. Be open to that. Don't think that, the change that you made and now it's a new habit, that you won't have to change that area of your life again. You may have to, especially as things in life, technology, all that continues to evolve. You just never know. So, throughout the process of becoming, it's important to maintain a supportive network and seek feedback and encouragement. And when I talk about your inner circle and your network, a lot of times people look at that as your family, your close friends. It doesn't have to be that. I have people here on YouTube that I look at as part of my network. People that I may have met once in my life that I consider as part of my main inner circle network. So find those people that have integrity, that are doing great things with their life, that aren't just sitting in the wings, just eating popcorn and watching everyone else live out their dreams and doing things. Don't just hang on with the ones that are the hanger oners, the looker seers. That's what we used to call, my husband and I used to call them, the looker seers, the people that want to just come to your house and look and see how you living and then talk about it later. No, you want to have people that are doing positive things in their life. And you may or may not know them, but you know that they, for what you see, they are doing some great things. So, have that supportive service, support in your life for sure. All right, let me see what everyone was saying, and I'll pull them up. Oh, I'm almost at the top. I'm glad that that's all I had, right? Thank you, Be Amazing Sylvia. Thank you. Thank you, Pandy's Hair, Candy, and more. Yes, Coach Mary Ma is saying that habits take time. Yep. hmm Habits take time. Be Amazing Sylvia saying habits have to develop. They do. They do. And it takes strategies. So if you say that you want to lose weight, how? It's not about just taking medication, or it's not even about getting a gym membership. How many times a day or week are you going to go to the gym? Is it 7 days a week? And out of that seven, what are you going to do? Are you going to do cardio for 3 days and weightlifting for two? Are you going to go and maybe do massage? Because that could be part of your joining the gym, for another one of those days. Like, what is the strategy? Are you going to increase your water intake? Maybe instead of drinking, half a gallon of water, you want to drink a gallon of water. I've read that you're supposed to drink half of your body weight in ounces a day if you really want to have a good weight system. So, what are those strategies that you're going to do? Is more than just, I want to lose weight. How? And your strategies are the how. That's your blueprint. Marlene is saying that feedback on how I am perceived. Yes, let me tell you, 360 evaluations are powerful. Ooh, I have to do one. As a matter of fact, it's due by May 15th. So, like I said, there are some organizations, if you go through a particular type of training, that require you to obtain a 360. I've had several 360s done for me. Whenever I have a performance review or anything like that, I always request 360s from people that I've done work with over the year, because I want to make sure that I'm still performing the way that I think I was performing, but I want to hear it from their perspective. And I'm able to get a lot of great understanding and growth and development from those evaluations. Let's see. Penny's Hair Candy is saying set clear and realistic visions and have a strategy. Yes, that strategy is the thing. And look, I am in the process of developing a workbook on goal planning, strategically goal planning. And I was hopeful to have it done by today, but it's not. It's going to be really a great book. It's also a planner. So I'm excited for it. Once it's launched, I will definitely share it here on YouTube so that if people who are interested in really being strategic and intentional with their personal and professional lives, I highly recommend that, you pick that up, because I'm putting in that book all of my best practices. I have yet to find that perfect planner, that perfect workbook that I can have everything. To me, that's like your legacy. That's the one document or the book that I would love for my future to find, because everything is evolves, and maybe my great grandchildren will also be going through the same thing and use that document to help them through. Let's see, I'm going to look at a couple of more. And you all, this is the Empowerment Conference. Again, it is developed by Marlene Motivates. And let me look at the lineup again. I know right after me is Coach Mary Ma. If you go at the top of my chat, I do have the link to her live, which is next. It's coming up at 4 o'clock. It's linked up at the top of this chat, so you can definitely go there. If someone could please drop it too, so it can be a little bit lower, just in case no one can scroll up for whatever the reason, so that you all can go right over there to Coach Mary Ma. So this is the Empowerment Conference, Spring 2024, Blossom into Your Best Self. I will have the playlist of all of the content creators that have presented today. At 1 p.m., we had Team Build with Geo. And at 1:45, it was Pandy's Hair Candy and more. 2:30 was Be Amazing Sylvia. Here I am, 3:15. After me is going to be Coach Mary Ma at 4 p.m. At 4:45, closing it out, is Marlene Motivates, and she is the organizer. And listen, it has been chock full of nuggets all day today. I hope you all were able to gather some great information that's really going to help you blossom into your best self. And I'm just going to scroll down more in the chat. And Marlene is saying, my network does not include family. I want true support without emotion or strings attached. Yes. And I have to say, I'm fortunate to have a few family members, quite a few actually, that are supporters with, things that go on in my life. I know I can count on them, but I know that that is not common at all. So I'm grateful for them. And Coach Mary Ma, thank you. I can't read okay. And so I see the emojis. Thank you all so much. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Coach Mary Ma is sitting and eating popcorn. Okay, yellow stripes. All right. And they're speaking. All right. Thank you all for being here again. I will be going live for the next for all of this month. I'm at day 13 today. I'm going to do it leading up to my sweet 16 of being on YouTube. And I hope to see you all. My lives are random, but they are every day, typically in the evening. And they are all going to be full with nuggets again. What we do over here is good news. What the content creators as part of this empowerment conference, they talk about good things. And that's what we need to fill our body, mind, and soul with, is good and great things. So I'm going to end this and thank you all again for being here. Remember to practice every day, so when you play, you will play to win. It has been my pleasure and my honor to share this information with you. I am Coach Sherry.